up, kids? Oh. Hey, well, welcome to our little walk gathering. Thanks for being with us. Give yourselves a round of applause. Halfway. For doing this with us. We have walked in heat and snow and rain, and quite seriously, our feet are pretty gross. Even, we could use a pedicure or a manicure. I don't really know about that. I don't think I'm metrosexual with that. Any metrosexuals here anyway? Okay, we got one. Okay, two. Self-proclaimed. Okay, that's great. This is, the whole idea with the walks has continued to be the same. The only difference is that when we first started, we didn't know that thousands and thousands and thousands of people would be joining us. We went to Africa, not as Hanson, but as three guys, curious and sort of can't explain it. Sometimes you feel that there's a pull, a desire to go and do something bigger than yourself. And what we were inspired and surprised and stunned by was how many issues with extreme poverty across Africa come down to really simple, tangible needs that can be met, whether it's shoes or HIV/AIDS medication or clean water that is providable. We've talked about this in so many cities and so many walks that we should just have it written down in a little speech that says, because we've done this. But I always want to talk, more off the cuff, because every time we do this is a little different. This walk is really about how we demonstrate each of our decision to show up, each of our decision to be a part of change. And the word change can be thrown around to support any kind of cause. But when I'm talking about change, we're talking about, kind of inner change and sort of how each of us realize our own role in getting something done. And when talking about extreme poverty in Africa, it's one of those things that it's sort of like you don't talk about, sex, faith, or politics in a conversation. Well, poverty in Africa is like number 4 on the things that usually stop a conversation dead. They're like, okay, and fixing them, unfortunately, thanks for being talking about all. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for being boring, person. Can't we talk about something else? But extreme poverty in Africa for us, what we saw ourselves. We saw young people just like us. A lot of the young women, especially who are afflicted with HIV/AIDS, because many young women, especially in that part of the world, don't have as much freedom, independence to pay their own way, or just the social stigma of having HIV/AIDS. And what we also saw was the reality that there's this extraordinary passion and dedication that we've seen from music fans that we felt like at least if we could show by leading with example that maybe just a part of that conviction and dedication and drive could actually be fueling something that was really making a difference. Not by saying, hey guys, you're a Hanson fan, you should do this, but by saying, hey, we're passionate about this, here's a story about our own journey, and share it with you guys. And what we've seen is that over and over, all across the country and literally all over the world, people have, like you guys, have picked up the banner, organized walks just like this. I mean, from Sydney, we've had 20 people gather in a park in Sydney. We've had hundreds of people gather in Tokyo. We've had 1,000 people gather in Seattle, just like this. And we committed to sort of push the walk campaign by saying we're going to give the first dollar, and that's the conviction and the sort of commitment we can make. And we can also make the commitment by showing up every day and doing this gathering. And the purpose of that first dollar is to say, we want you guys to do something before it's about writing on onto your checkbook and donating. Because it doesn't really take much. $1 or $2 doesn't seem like that much. And you're much better served to have some dirt on your feet. And when you have some dirt on your feet, you remember it. You remember standing in the heat with Hanson. You remember us making bad jokes. You remember... whatever it is you take in today. Even as a poor college student, even with the economy not being great, even in situations like this, it's easier to whip out $1 or $2 or even maybe $10 than it is for me to say to someone, hey, you got shoes on. We should take them off for this mile. And they look, and everybody looks at you like, are you nuts? And I'll think about it. Anybody that's got shoes on today, ask yourself why you didn't. Maybe it's just inconvenient. Don't really want to mess with that. Sorry. Maybe you're metrosexual. You don't want to get your feet. Oh my God. Anyway, but we're lucky because we make our livelihood going around entertaining people. Like, we play music. We do something we love. It's really kind of unfair that this is our job. It's a lot of fun, and we get unfair to you guys. We love what we do, but we have an opportunity to kind of connect in a way that is not about whether we're on stage and you guys are in the audience, but the fact that each of us have to show up as individuals. We can only walk with our 2 feet. Okay, we need everybody's hands, everybody's feet. And so when you decide to take shoes off or not, or when you stand and listen to us, or when you share about what this is not about getting tons of people to feel bad about these causes. Clearly, look at all the people watching us right now. Yeah, exactly. No one. The point is, the point is that this is about you guys. This is about us. This is about you guys that chose to walk with us. And one thing that you'll see over and over is the component that is really important to getting something done is to have leadership, and to be able to say, I'm going to do this regardless. To be a leader is to see something first and do it first. Be ahead of the curve. And the joke in the music business with a lot of record executives is they look around and they say, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then nobody does anything. Mm-hmm. That's what our whole culture does. We're not here to preach about that, because we don't do any better. But we did realize is that when you start, all of a sudden things begin happening. Things begin getting done. So when somebody asks you what this is about, you can say you took an action today to fight extreme poverty in Africa with your feet, with your bare feet, with your actions. You didn't go to an awareness walk. You didn't go hang out with Hanson. You took an action. You took an hour, 30 minutes to walk down the street and help build a school or drill a well. That's how your dollar today is going. And the thing that happens next, that's where we feel like what we're really doing is investing in you. We're actually giving $1 to you. We're investing in your potential, and saying, we hope that 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, it only takes 1, but at least somebody will say, I'm going to organize another walk like this, and I'm going to reach 20 or 30 or 100 other people. Or maybe I'm going to join another walk. Maybe I'm going to go give $100 to support a well. Or maybe I'm going to go buy 10 pairs of shoes. Or maybe I'm going to have this little, thing that I take with me that I remember, that I put back into the job that I start, or the people that I'm around, or the family that I raise, and the people that I influence. And take this little moment and turn it into action. I've been talking too long. So the last thing I'm going to say is specifically the cause of extreme poverty in Africa is so far away, right? It seems like it's far in the distance. But every major issue that our world has faced, the reason things don't get done is because everybody feels like, oh, I'm here and I'm kind of one person. What you realize is when you start knocking on doors, that there's thousands, millions of people that have conviction and have the opportunity and have influence and together you become this massive people that are willing to get something done. What's going on in Africa is, it really is important to imagine yourself, because it's us in these communities. It's young people, young families, young moms and dads, people that are in the workforce that are struggling with HIV/AIDS. They're afflicted by, years and years of layers of problems. But the real thing that's going on there is there's hope, because there is a true desire to change, true desire to learn to read and write, to drill clean water wells, to save the next generation through solutions. And what we're trying to do is to simply be partners and to be a part of changing communities by doing something here. So that $1 will go to drill a well, and then build a school, and then provide shoes. It'll provide a little bit of pride. It'll provide real resources. It'll provide access to a young mother so that she won't transmit HIV/AIDS to the next generation of kids that get born with a disease that they have no choice in. And you guys are actually standing there with them, literally doing this. So that's what this is about. And don't let anybody tell you that Africa's too far away, or that this isn't a big deal, or that Bono did that so we're cool. Or Madonna bought a baby. Or just, know that you did this and that it was real. And you are going to be the ones that get things done by showing up just like you did today. So You're amazing. This is our halfway mark. And so we're going to spin around, we're going to walk back. All right?
Okay.
All right? You guys ready to walk? Say, let's walk! Let's walk! All right, let's do it.